disrupted.
America to like fuck.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far. So, obviously, we're still reeling in from Trump's victory in the United States. Obviously, there's some grievances. There's some maniac grievances, as you're going to see later on. And also, there might be some opportunities, which is why I kept optimistic on Trump's second term, unlike some other people. But I kept optimistic in the fact that Trump may have had some great policies coming forward to this. Now, in the fact that he has seen as an outsider past his first campaign, which was kind of milquetoast, kind of cringe. You know, he'd said he was going to drain the swamp, but ended up filling it with the exact same creatures. Then he got kicked out with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But now that he's been outside the game and seeing the playbook at hand, seeing the political malfeasance against him, it seems to be that there is now this opportunity that he is actually going to be committed to greater advancement. And as you're about to see here, it has taken over the world by storm. So I don't know if people know about this guy, this Nosferatu caricature, as you can see by his appearance. This is Yuval Noah Harari, and he's supposed to be one of the next contenders in the World Economic Forum's leadership role. He is like the next in line if something happens to Klaus Schwab, God hoping. He is apparently supposed to take over the World Economic Forum, but now he is in panic because his agenda of saying the era of free will is over, well, it turns out it's mostly over for him. Because he went on to a podcast recently and talked about the possibility of a Trump win, which was projected that it was most likely going to be in favor of Trump, even though polling kind of suggested down the middle, it more favored Trump in the fact that Kamala Harris was simultaneously losing Muslim votes, but also Jewish votes and a lot of worker votes. So here's what he had to say. Here's what this Nosferatu, bloodthirsty, tyrannical leader had to say on this podcast about Trump.
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
Of the global order.
I don't know if people heard that. I'm gonna play that again.
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order.
The death blow to the global order. That is what a Trump presidency is going to happen, folks. A death blow to the new world order. I think that's a mission accomplished right there, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's a victorious win. Not just for America, but the fact that a Donald Trump presidency is going to scare enough people in the globalist sphere, in the cabal of criminals and oligarchs and titans and tycoons that want to take over and seize control of everybody. The guy that wants you to eat bugs, own nothing, and be happy with it. That apparently is now in the past. And Donald Trump has apparently scared people like him enough to worry that this agenda, the globalist agenda, may have some troubles, may have some hurdles to deal with. So I want to hear that again because that was hilarious.
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order.
Bravo, ladies and gentlemen, bravo. I think people should get a round of applause for that. That is the victory right there. That is the victory of it. But there's more. There is more. And this is what makes me, even a person who personally dislikes Trump, have some sort of sympathy and a bit of optimism coming for his presidency, for the fact that he will now be elected and sworn in on January 2025. It makes me have a bit of optimism, not only having RFK Jr. as his side and Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy, and learning, past mistakes of his first presidency, coming forward with this, but also the fact that now it seems that peace has broken out. I kid you not. I kid you not. So when you see stuff like this is from Bricks News. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump accepts Russian President Putin's offer for a call to discuss ending the war in Ukraine. Now, this was one of the many things that I called out the Democratic Party for. This is one of the things that I so harshly knew that this was going to be costing them many, many votes. And this is why not only was there such a male presence of Trump voters, but of also females, and a lot of them mothers, because they knew that the atrocity happening in Ukraine, the atrocities that are happening with the genocide that they're aiding, the atrocities that are just happening around the globe is going to be concerning for their kids. They're concerned that their kids are going to potentially be enlisted into these outrageous wars. And they don't want their kids to be sacrificed for the globalist war regime. So that is why a lot of them came together in support of Donald Trump. And this should be a game winner for everybody. This should be a game winner for everybody. In the fact that we are seeing now peace talks breaking out in the form of being scared of Donald Trump. Here's also this. Russia open to hearing Trump's proposals for ending the war, an official says. So Trump's going to end, possibly, the conflict in Ukraine and Russia. He's going to come to a peace agreement. He's going to sit down and act like a businessman, which he is, and going to come to some sort of agreement, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, this should be a win for everybody. To the fact that we are seeing negotiations taking forth. And the ones that are upset the most are nefarious freaks like Harari at the WEF, or warlusters like Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo, and other neocons inside the Democratic base, Liz Cheney, for example. Of course, they're going to be upset by this. So this is victorious for everybody. Here's this. President Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously, and Russia supports it. That's amazing. That is amazing that that's happening. And also, Hamas calls for immediate end to the war after Trump election win. Hamas. So not only is he committed to stopping the atrocity of Ukraine, which we knew was a setup from the get-go. We knew it was a proxy war. We knew that they have sacrificed that country for people like BlackRock, for the military-industrial complex, to see if they can break apart Russia. They didn't. They failed miserably. I think the death toll in Ukraine right now is up to 1 billion people, and that there was caution to the fact that they were trying to recruit Americans to go over to help fight with Ukraine. It was just absolutely chaotic, and that's why so many people came forward with Trump. But now we're also seeing the Middle East war might have a settlement, might have negotiation. So this, even Zionists can't really complain about this. There might be some deep cult followers that still want to see, Gaza a completely parking lot, and go into Lebanon and continue on this tirade because that's part of their, bloodthirst agenda. But even some Zionists, even the people that say, well, Israel was defending for the hostages, have to be relieved, have to have some sort of sympathy and understanding come together on something like this, something miraculous like this. Or how about the Houthis in Iran? Houthi spokesperson, our operations in international waters were purely defensible, and we announced their final cessation. Their final cessation. This is incredible. This is incredible, folks. And no politician in my lifetime apparently is able to do the magnitude that a Trump victory in an election did. No politician, certainly not in America, not even in Canada, which kind of makes me very disappointed in our own country, considering we're supposed to be the peacekeepers. You know, we didn't go into Vietnam. We didn't partake in the invasion of Iraq. And yet, we're now the more bloodthirst, warmongering type than Donald Trump. That is incredible, folks. That is incredible, folks. Here's even this. Just going around the globe. Venezuela says it's ready to establish good relations with the United States. That's amazing. That's awesome. We're going to establish good relations with people, which is exactly what foreign policy should be about. That's why places like China, for example, has a better reputation around the world than the West. Because China goes around and helps people, serves people. They go around and construct buildings for them. As long as they slap their, made in China symbol on the construction, they have peace. They have tranquility. They want to have a prosperous world. Whereas here in the West, we want to bomb villages. We want to destroy people. We suck up to the global war maniacs like that Hurrah guy and get people involved in heinous warfare. That's all manufactured. So it's amazing. It's amazing that this is happening. And just at the brink of a Donald Trump election, which now makes this confirmed that all of these conflicts were definitely manufactured. All of these conflicts definitely did not involve just regular Joes and Janes around the world saying, hey, we need to invade so-and-so country. This is all done by higher-up politicians. This is all done by warlords. This is all done up by the global economic board for warmongering, for going after these countries to slaughter as many people, steal their natural resources, sell it off to a bunch of capitalists, and then sell that off to us suckers who believe that, who get propagandized to sell you the idea of continuous war. And now it looks like there's a possibility we might have peace again. We might have a vision of stability for humanity. And it comes from Donald Trump. That's incredible. But there's more. There's more. Chinese President Xi Jinping says he's ready to strengthen relations with the United States. That is amazing. That is amazing. Like I said, no politician in America or Canada, for that matter, in my lifetime, for sure, has ever got to the magnitude that a Donald Trump, he hasn't even been sworn in yet. He hasn't even started his presidency. And already the world is scared to peace. That's incredible, folks. So to all the children out there, because I don't have children of my own, so to all the children out there, I leave you this message. Mark this on your calendar, that it took a former real estate tycoon entertainer to be elected president, that everybody thought he was a form of Hitler, was a Nazi, was a white supremacist, a homophobe, a fascist, a tyrant, to scare the world to peace. That is how crazy it sounds, but it's also a huge, enormous victory for everybody, regardless of how you feel about him, regardless of that. Now, that doesn't mean we can easily just sit back, relax, and just let it play out. Obviously, I encourage people to continuously be vigilant, even with the Trump presidency, because we've seen last time, we have seen this before, that Donald Trump plays by whoever's closest to his ear. And whether it be neocons, whether it be anti-war people, whether it be in his base, whether it be the Adelsons, when he was campaigning, he sided with Miriam Adelson about Israel and getting people involved with the Zionist movement and cultivating that. So Obviously, it's good signs that we're seeing a Trump presidency is collectively getting people to peace and having negotiations around the world and strengthening humanity, strengthening society with good communication and diplomacy. But that doesn't mean it's over. That doesn't mean that somewhere around the world, somewhere in a deep dark alley, somewhere in the Pentagon, somewhere in the cellars of Raytheon, that they might cook something up. That there might be something at play, and they might take advantage of Trump, just like they did the first presidency, and continue on this warfare. Continue on this. Because this is damaging to the global world order. This is damaging to the whole construct of these billionaire, bloodthirsty, blood-soaking tycoons that really run the world. This is damaging to them. So it would not surprise me if they had some tricks up their sleeves to try to diminish this opportunity of peace, while the rest of the world, including myself, is just absolutely astonished and just absolutely just joyful of this occasion. And regardless of how you feel about Trump, this should be an enormous victory. That it takes a man like him to finally get the world to come together, end this crap, end this manufactured warfare shit that we've seen time and time again, and focus on the good of humanity so we can build up society, so we can evolve as people for a better tomorrow. That is what people hope for in a Trump presidency. That is my optimism for the Trump presidency. So, kudos on that.